Ever felt like you're running 100 miles an hour, but getting nowhere? Yeah, I've been there. Between running a multi-million-dollar insurance agency, training for HYROX, growing the Level Up and Live brand, mastermind group, podcast, and making sure that I make time for my wife, Kendra, 2 dogs, Trip and Dixie, and personal growth, it would absolutely be chaos if I didn't have a plan. And here's the cold, hard truth behind it. Most successful business owners, athletes, and high performers, they don't just wing it. They own their time. And so today, I'm breaking down exactly how I plan my week to win in business, fitness, and life so you can do the same. In this episode, I'll cover how I set up my week for success so I don't waste time because it's so precious. That's our most precious asset. Number 2, the time blocking system that keeps me from burning out. Number 3, the one thing I do every week to stay on track, even when life gets crazy. And so by the end of this, you'll have a simple framework to control your schedule and actually move the needle. All right, first thing is first. I don't start my week on Monday. I used to start my week on Monday, and what I had found is that I was just reacting to the day. I was reacting to other people's schedule, other people's agenda. And this depleted my energy. I was fatigued, I was exhausted, and I felt like a cog in the wheel. I felt like a hamster in the wheel. So now, moving forward, I start my week on Sunday. Sunday morning, I sit down and I map out my week. And this isn't just some crazy long process that takes 4 hours. It literally takes me 30 to 45 minutes, but it saves me hours of wasted time and stress. So here's what I do. Step 1, I categorize priorities. I break my week into 4 different buckets. So the first bucket is business. So that's running the insurance agency. That's coaching my private business clients. It might be content creation, anything aligned with business, finances, checking my business accounts, all that is time blocked. Number 2, fitness. So this is HYROX training. This is running, recovery, competitions that I may be scheduled for, like HYROX competitions, marathons, decafits, anything that I'm striving to compete in. And number 3 is relationships. This is time with Kendra. This is plugging myself in with friends. This is family, my dogs, Trip and Dixie, whether we're taking a golf cart ride or a walk. That is the 3rd bucket. 4th bucket is going to be personal growth. So this can be reading, spirituality, like church, reading the Bible. Married life is a class that we take at church that me and my wife get to plug ourselves into. Mastermind sessions weekly on a Friday at the Level Up and Live mastermind. And then travel planning. So if it doesn't fit into typically one of these categories, then it's probably going to be a distraction for me, and it's going to be eliminated or delegated. Step 2, schedule non-negotiables. I absolutely love this step because we all have to have those non-negotiables so we can fuel up our tank to give back to more people around us. If our tank's not full, then we have nothing to give to people. The way I like to put it is with non-negotiables, it's like driving your car. Whatever you're driving right now, a car, a truck, an SUV, if you don't fill it up with 87 or high octane gas, what ends up happening? That's right. You guessed right. You run out of gas. And it's only a matter of time before, if you don't fill up your tank with your non-negotiables that fill your tank up, then it's only a matter of time before you burn out. So I don't schedule workouts when I have time, or I don't fit in a date night if my schedule allows. However, I put those first. Those are priorities. Where focus goes, energy flows. I always say this to my team, my friends, my family: show me your calendar and I'll show you your life. The most important things in your life need to be blocked off first so it fuels your tank. And if you don't do that, if you put everybody else's agenda first, that depletes your tank, guess what? It doesn't happen. Could not find a time or day that we enjoyed going on a date night. Every time we would go on a date night, because everybody, the status quo says go on a date night. Well, we'd go to date night, end up spending 60, 70, 80 bucks, and we would either end in an argument or we would it would not be an enjoyable. We would just eat our food and then go home. And so we reflected back on that, because I think we're human beings and it happens to the best of us. And we realized that we were going on a date in the evening time. Well, me and Kendra, knowing oneself, self-awareness is we are morning people. We are from 4 a.m. to about 4 p.m. We were going out to eat at 4 p.m. We were exhausted. We weren't the best version of ourselves. We were at a 3 or a 4, so we were just barely hanging on to see how each other's day was. And so it wasn't a good quality conversation. So we reflected, and then we ended up incorporating a coffee date every Sunday before church. And it allowed us to, at 8, 9 a.m. before church, not only to have a cup of coffee, but also it allowed us to be in our optimal 10.0 version of ourselves by having that date. So it just allowed us to show up with vitality and energy, and we weren't fatigued and tired. So figure it out where it is in your life where you have the most energy and most optimal, so you can apply that in these non-negotiables. And now let's talk about the game changer that I feel like that has been the catalyst of where that's allowed me to get to where I am today, which is time blocking. So most people spend their day of what happens to them, right? They let their day happen to them. They reactionary mode. I like to think of mine as controlled. I want to control my day by time blocking. So I have these blocks of time for everything. So I'm not bouncing around, putting out fires, reacting to other people's agenda. I've been there, I've done that, it's exhausting. So here's how I time block my day. So I'm from 4 a.m., the moment I get up, to the moment 7 a.m. hits, I have a morning routine and training. So I call this the miracle morning. So before the world wakes up, I'm moving my body. I'm hydrating with water, 8 to 10 ounces. I'm setting my mindset up for the day, and I'm typically doing a HYROX circuit or a training. I'm running, I'm listening to a podcast or strength workout. These are non-negotiables. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and nothing comes between me and getting these non-negotiables done. Now, from typically 7 to 12 p.m., I'm going into deep work. This is a time block that I set up small intervals of 30 minutes. And once that 30-minute hits, my timer goes off on my computer, and I do a 5-minute either meditation, breath work, walk around the house, or even a quick little stretch to get the body moving again. Then I go do another time block. And so these time blocks consist of and allow me to work on the business and not just in it. So this could be things like strategy calls, leadership meetings, content creation, podcast interviews, or even mastermind sessions that we have on a weekly basis every Friday. There is no emails, no phone calls, just dialed in, hyper-focused work. This is how I'm able to drive the needle. And I'll have lunch from 1 to 4 p.m. I will have scheduled business lunches and recovery. This is when I typically take lunch meetings, whether it's new business relationships, reviewing goals, reflecting on my day, getting a massage, which I absolutely love, taking a nature walk with my 2 dogs just to reset the mind. I'm a big believer in recovery is important to showing up the 10.0 version of yourself. I have in the past been that guy that was just 24/7, 7 days a week, just on the go, 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 go. If I wasn't being productive or had a task or responsibility, I felt like I wasn't doing anything. So there's a difference between busy and productivity. That is for a whole nother episode. But the point here is to make sure that you're doing focused work and you are recovering, for me, in that 1 to 4 p.m. That allows me to come back stronger and healthier, and also as a stress management. From 4 to 7 p.m., typically I wind down. Family time is that 4 to 7. I cook dinner for my wife, have it ready to go when she gets home from work. We're either playing with the dogs, taking a dog walk. I'm reading because it calms the mind. My phone goes on Do Not Disturb. There's no phone calls. There's no emails, no social media, because business success means nothing if your personal life is a mess. So also too, I wanted to touch on the weekly reflection, how I adjust and improve, right? Because it's not always rainbows and sunshines. It doesn't always work out as planned. So this is how I adjust and improve and adapt. It is so key, especially this day and age in 2025, in this recording, April of 2025. Technology, the world is evolving. We are moving very quickly. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, high achiever, you know this. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. And so here's what most people miss that I have found in working with business owners and entrepreneurs and high achievers is the weekly reflection, the 7-day weekly reflection. So every Sunday morning, I typically ask myself, what went well this week? So in other words, what wins did I have in business, fitness, and in life? Not just business, but also fitness and in life, in all these different areas of life. And so I rate myself in these different areas. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did I show up in fitness? Well, I actually crushed it this week. I had an 8 on the fitness level. Great. Well, my marriage kind of took a back seat on this, so it's a 4. And then my finances, haven't reviewed it in the last 4 days when normally I review it on a daily basis. That's a 7. And then maybe my friendships, I haven't been out to a lunch meeting or did a coffee with a friend in 3 weeks. That's a 2. So this allows me to adjust course and reflect, where do I need to improve and what's not working? Because where focus goes, energy flows. Now, then in the second question I go to is, what didn't work? Did I overschedule something? Did I overcommit to my training? A lot of times what happens is something that we enjoy doing, we do more of it. And we don't realize it because we're obsessed, or there's passion, or it gives us energy, and then everything else falls by the wayside. So I'll ask myself, did I overschedule? Did I miss a workout? Did I overtrain? What didn't work? And the third one, what needs to change? Where do I need to focus my priorities? Where do I need to focus my shift? How can I adjust my week to be even more optimal, more effective? And so one of my favorite things to do is sit down with Kendra on a weekly basis and review the week together. This could be in our coffee date. This could be Saturday after our run club. And we talk about our upcoming travel, training. What are we training for? What HYROX events? Or maybe it's something new like DECA competition, or anything that needs adjusting. This just keeps us aligned, because life, to me, is a team sport. And when you try to isolate, when you try to go at it alone, man, it is tough. You can go fast by yourself, but you can go further together with your team. The difference between successful people, from what I have found, and people who stay stuck is simple. Successful people plan their time with intention. Key word today, intention. And so I challenge you to take 30 minutes today to plan your next week. Write down your non-negotiables, block your time, and commit to actually following through. What's one thing you need to schedule this week to level up? Let me know. I read and respond to every single comment. And if you got value from this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, if you want to dive deeper into winning your time and scaling your business, check out our Level Up and Live Mastermind. Link is in the description. Go plan your week. Let's get after it.